Welcome to the BHA State of Play. The idea of this session is to provide you with an update on all the things that we, the National Council, have been working on and what's coming up next. We've reached out to all of your respective clubs to gain insight into what the burning issues are, and we've pre-recorded answers to your questions. We hope that all of your questions will be answered. However, if you do have questions from the floor, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen now. Your questions will then be answered live after the pre-recorded video. So straight in. First question. I love the BHA website. It's full of information, but I do find it hard to use sometimes. Are you doing anything to fix it? For this one, we're going to throw over to Dan Beckett, our VP Marketing, who's in charge of our website redevelopment project. Over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, this is a good question. This is something that I've been looking at for a little while now, but we definitely do have a project underway to look at redesigning the website. So obviously there's a few issues there. As has been mentioned, it can be tricky to find information for members at times. I agree. I know that as over time, things get added and you know, eventually things get spread out and put into different locations and don't follow a consistent approach. So one thing we're looking at is reviewing all the content that's on the website, seeing what's current, updating what needs to be updated, and removing anything that doesn't need to be removed. Another part of that too is to make sure that we're having a clear line between what content on the site is something that is public facing, so things that we just need the public to see, and other things that are member specific. So obviously stuff that is more member specific, we don't necessarily have to have visible to the public when they're coming. So making sure we can keep the website as a bit of a marketing tool, as well as still being a member resource, so you can find all your information that you need. And so to that too, we'll be making sure that as we're restructuring, that we're engaging through our regional chairs and making sure that we're putting things in a sort of logical and a sort of a logical structure and in a way that that most will be able to find the information they're looking for. Of course, there is a search function on there, but again, I think if we can try and get information structured in a way that flows well and is easy for members to find what they're after, at the end of the day, that's kind of what we all want. And another part of this redesign that we're doing alongside the content itself is obviously we want to do a bit of a refresh to the look and feel. Many members look at the website through a mobile device, a phone or a tablet, and we realize at the moment that the site doesn't scale particularly well for that. So that's another thing we want to make sure we can tick off as we're going through this whole redesign process. I think in a nutshell, that's most of the points we're covering off on at the moment. So at this stage, it's more we're sort of gathering requirements and trying to work out exactly the best approach to it. And we'll obviously keep everyone posted when we have more things to announce around that. But if anyone has any particular feedback, please feel free to send that through to me at marketing@barbershop.org.au. Thanks, Dan.
Great, Dan. And hey, for giant barbershop nerds like myself who really love to buy t-shirts and barbershop hats and all of that sort of stuff, I understand that you're also looking at a new and improved Harmony Marketplace.
That is correct. Thanks, Dan. Yes, now, if any of you have been on the social media, may have noticed that there were a few announcements maybe a couple of months back about Harmony Marketplace being available online. Now I'm going to test my knowledge of Zoom to see if I can share a screen. Hopefully we can all see now the BHA website. If you want to get to the Harmony Marketplace, this is one of the ways you can do it. Go to the website, click on the store link in the menu, and that'll take you to our reasonably brand new online Harmony Marketplace. So this is effectively all of the merchandise that you can get at a festival, but obviously with no in-person festivals at the moment, this is your best bet for getting hold of some of this stuff. So let me show you what we have. We've got a clothing category. This covers all of our hats, hoodies, shirts, drinkware, the very popular water bottles. We have a line of Harmony Academy merchandise, t-shirts and caps, as well as some other sort of more miscellaneous items. So another thing to point out is we do have a sale on already for anyone who missed out on the Hobart Festival. We've knocked 50% off any of the merchandise from that Hobart Festival. So jump in, take a look at the website. Again, if there's any questions about any of this, or if you have any ideas for merchandise you'd like to see, reach out to me at marketing@barbershop.org.au. I'll be happy to hear from you. As well as being something you can access through the website, you can also get to it through our Facebook and Instagram pages. So feel free to take a look there as well. I will stop sharing and hand you back to you, Mr. Milgate.
Great, thanks, Dan. Good one. Hey, next question up. We've had a quartet contest this year. Hey, not the best situation that we could possibly have hoped for, but we have had a quartet contest this year. What plans does BHA have about a chorus contest next year? This might be one that we'll talk to with our Vice President Events, Mr. Richard Waddick. Over to you, Richard.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, and thanks for the question. So we've had our quartet contest. A lot of choruses obviously couldn't participate because of COVID restrictions. Next year, the plan is that fingers crossed we'll get to go over to Auckland, New Zealand for the Pan Pacific contest. I might just use this opportunity now to perhaps answer another question that I know we've got as well. Perhaps
side question, nice one.
A little bit more on that. So we've actually got a question here from Jeff in Victorian region, and Jeff asks, with the likelihood that COVID will be well managed in 12 months' time, what is the National Council thinking regarding the convention in 2022? Similar sort of question. Thanks again for that question, Jeff. And I do share Jeff's optimism that the spread of COVID will be better managed in 12 months' time. With most of the population heeding public health advice, that should lead to choral groups in the broader community, I think, being permitted to gather again in a more consistent way. So once again, fingers crossed for that. But even before we get to next September for the Pan Pacific, we need to hold the regional contests, which usually commence in March, and that's obviously a quartet qualifier for the nationals next year, the Pan Pac, and of course choruses can participate in that as well. So now March, of course, is only 6 months away, and we've still got many of our regions in lockdown or under some sort of restriction with the pandemic. So, whilst maintaining a level of optimism, there is the concern that ensembles, choruses and quartets still may not be able to get together, or they may feel that they haven't had enough in-person rehearsal opportunities between now and then to participate in a regional contest. But we learn from the past and we get better at anticipating and responding to changes, so that there will be contingency plans in place which will invoke in need at the appropriate time. And that could mean that we allow video submissions like we've done this year, or we run a video-only contest. We might even postpone the contest, perhaps up to the end of July, if it appears that the health environment is starting to improve, and members may be able to participate in contests, a little bit down the track. But I just want to be clear that we'll always endeavour to do something for BHA members, no matter what the prevailing circumstances are. There'll always be something. And as we said, once the regionals are done, we can then look forward to the next national event, which will be incorporated into the Pan Pacific Convention in Auckland. And that, of course, includes delegates from barbershop organisations, choruses and quartets all around the Pacific Rim. So the Pan Pac will be held as I said, in Auckland from Thursday the 29th of September through to Sunday the 2nd of October 2022. And before that, it'll be preceded by the New Zealand Young Singers in Harmony Convention, which will take place on the Tuesday and Wednesday prior. So yeah, we're all looking forward to that, hoping that we'll get on top of this pandemic and we'll all be allowed to travel across to New Zealand to participate. Having said that, I'm keen to know as early as you can whether you or your quartet or your chorus is planning to attend the PanPACs next year. Of course, we're hoping for as many as possible to attend. So please email your plans or any other questions you might have about events to me at events@barbershop.org.au.
Thanks very much,
Richard.
Richard.
It for me. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, mate. And look, I think Richard raised a good point there. We are working very hard behind the scenes here to come up with lots of plans of, things that we can do together. COVID-19's had a few other ideas, but we're not kind of sitting back doing nothing. What we're doing is planning lots of stuff that we then need to cancel, rather than not doing anything that we then need to suddenly invent at the last minute. So rest assured, we are looking for lots and lots of different activities all the time that you can share. Hey, our next one comes from the Melbourne Airs. What are we going to do to bring the 2020 AGM vote to life? So you remember back in 2020 at the AGM, we had a few motions which were voted on by the membership. The Melbourne Airs have sent through a group question here, which is going to be answered by Paul Adams, our Vice President Membership, about what are we doing to bring that to life.
Thanks, Dan. This is a question which has come up also from Baden Street, as well as some individual members out of the central region as well. You may remember we set about trying to put in place the processes to enable the decisions to be made on the motions that were held at last AGM. Those decisions really were about pursuing the opening up of our membership. And so we have started building a number of pieces of information that are going to be used to inform members more fully on that. One of our biggest concerns was that despite all of the engagement we had, we hadn't really the confidence that members had really thought through, okay, so that's great. If this happens, what does it mean? How will it change our festivals? How will it change our contests? What will it mean for our clubs? So to do this, the National Council got together and worked through a change plan. And really what we tried to do then was to say, well, what do we need to do to clarify what we're going to do here? And then secondly, once we've clarified that, how do we get feedback from the membership so that we can then ratify whatever it is? We originally planned to take that to a special general meeting. COVID got in the way. So we're probably a little bit behind in terms of our original plan, but we're still targeting the AGM for this year to still ratify whatever the decision is. To that end, our president sent out an email to all members, I think it's come out just today, and that has two really critical documents. The first document is the first part of a conversation around what could this look like. Please don't confuse it. It's not what will it look like, it's what could it look like. And what are some of the implications of this that people might need to consider, and hopefully will stimulate our conversation around that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Will that mean longer festivals or shorter festivals? What will it mean to you as an individual member and also as a club? That information will then allow us to think through things like, well, what should the categories be if this was to occur, if it was to be put in place per the AGM motion? What would it mean to our festivals? What would it mean to our membership? What would it mean to our governance? It's a stimulating piece of information. Please, as I said, consider it as a proposition of thought process rather than being the answer. Along the way, we're also getting on with the processes of looking at, well, what would a constitution look like? What would our standing orders look like? So these are part of the ratification processes that are going on in parallel whilst we continue that conversation about what it looked like. The first paper is then about that vision. The second paper is really about, well, what does that mean for the clubs? How do we engage in conversation with the membership and clubs on what does it mean for them? What does it mean for the services that BHA should provide? What does it mean for fees, and what does that mean for governance? All those things will then crystallise into the instruments that we will need to put to now the AGM for ratification for whatever decision there's been made. It is a challenging time, because we'd hoped with where we were with the COVID-19 pandemic that we may have been able to get out to clubs in a different way. That hasn't happened, as we know. What we will be doing is having a special meeting, a town hall meeting on this specific topic towards the end of September. We will let you know with plenty of time so you can join in and have an open conversation with us about what are the things that you think are important. whatever else is going on out there, we want you to stay safe. We're trying to think of ways to stay connected with you and to help connect up members across Australia. And some of the ideas we had, well, they haven't come off, but we are looking forward to them being implemented in the future. And we're seeing elements of that in the upcoming festival that you're participating in. So no matter where you are, where you're watching this from, please stay safe, stay engaged, keep in touch with each other and take care of each other out there. And we're all thinking about you and really looking forward to the time when we can all get back together again.
Great. Thanks very much, Paul. And as Paul mentioned, I did send an email out to all members today, which is now a week ago, once you're watching this broadcast, of course. But I do encourage you to check that. There is a discussion paper and a project plan in that email. And we're really looking to have your feedback on those documents by the 4th of October this year. That's in about 2 weeks from the time you're watching this. So please have a look at that and get back to us. This isn't a secret project. There's no hidden agendas. There's nothing going on that you can't see. So if you have any questions, please do get in touch with Paul or myself at any time with any kind of questions that you have around this. All right. Thanks, Paul. Our next question is coming in from Anonymous, my favorite. Anonymous says, one of my favorite parts about barbershopping is going to conventions and going to Harmony Academy afterwards. This year, I've missed out on doing that. What are we doing to make sure that we can still do Harmony Academy type things in BHA? To this one, we're going to throw over to our Vice President Music, Luke Stevenson. Luke.
All right, Stan, thanks. And thanks to Anonymous for that question. And to be perfectly frank, that is a question that we've, as a council and myself as the VP Music, have been grappling with over the last 12 months or so, is how do we roll out these type of events in an uncertain COVID time. One of the ways we have managed to do that, I think last year particularly, and then rolling that into the festival this year, is to do video presentations where we get a presenter to run an event or a workshop over Zoom or Skype. So there's 2 of those sessions in the upcoming festival. So be sure to go along and check out those. On top of that, though, the education faculties met to discuss different ways of implementing educational resources to the membership. We had a really fantastic meeting with some really, really good ideas, looking back at what we've done previously, pre-COVID times, and then also looking forward to the future to see how we can't marry the two to then generate some more exciting things for you guys. On the side of that, I've also been working on a copyright project to make copyright a bit easier. It's something that we all grapple with as performers and entertainers, that we need to approach copyright with the due diligence that it requires. So looking for a way to make that easier for everybody by having a resource pack and having a way that we can go, I have a question about copyright. Okay, cool. Part of the revamp on the website. I know where to find it. Let's go and answer that question. Another thing that's been going on in the background too has been that I've been creating a database for our skilled members, effectively. So anyone who has coaching, arranging, directing experience. So we have a knowledge database of where we can go if we need those particular areas of skills. Had a really great response to that. So I've been approaching people and look, if you think you've got some skills and you'd love to have them shared, please get in touch. VP Music, I think that's at barbershop.net.au or .com.au. I always forget that. Thanks, Dan. But I'm really keen to get that rolling as well. And again, we'll hopefully have that on the website as well. So at a touch of a button, you can see, okay, I need someone that I can go to get a new song arranged for my chorus or quartet, and we can really tie in that with that database there. That's all from me for now, but lots of stuff coming up in the future.
Thanks, Luke, and good to know that you're on the job there in that education stream, mate. Thank you very much. Our next question is obviously from a club treasurer who asks the question, what resources are available for me as a treasurer to be able to do my job? And for this one, obviously, we're going to go over to our most skilled financial guy in the team here, our treasurer, Trevor Brugger.
Thanks, Dan. Good question. Can't say I fielded it before, but it is a great question. There is some information on the website, but honestly, the best thing to do is probably reach out to me personally. You can reach me at treasurer@barbershop.org.au. The main reason for that is each treasurer's experience will be slightly different. I'm fortunate. I do this for a living every day, so happy to help. Reach out to me.
Great, easy one, treasurer. Thank you very, very much. We're lucky to have on board down here Mr. Ian Mulholland, who's our VP Contest and Judging. Ian, I've got an email here asking about Someone is asking about becoming a new judge. How do I become a new judge? I'm very keen to get involved. Over to you.
Yeah,
Ian.
thanks, Dan. So each year I'll put out a call to people who are interested in becoming judges, and they can contact me at contest@barbershop.org.au. We have a training program. We put people through scoring exercises and giving evaluation exercises. And then every 3 years, generally at a PANPAC, we have a judge certification school, which goes over 3 days, where people can try to become certified as judges. But we've now put in place a training program. So we hope that everyone who ends up at that certification school will go through.
Great, thanks, Ian. And I guess now is a good time to put the hand up. You've got a year to get ready for a proposed judging school in Auckland next year.
That's right, Dan. We're already halfway through a program. So if anyone was interested, they need to contact me certainly before Christmas.
Great. Hey, Dan, we've got a question here from someone who wants to know what sort of marketing help might be available once my chorus decides to get back together again when it's safe to do so.
Definitely. So best thing to do in that situation, reach out to me. Again, my marketing address is marketing@barbershop.org.au. We've got a bunch of resources there. So you can get in touch, let me know exactly what you're looking at doing, or if you're not sure, I can ask you a few sort of guiding questions in that regard as well. So, but best thing to do, send me an email, marketing@barbershop.org.au, and we'll do what we can to help.
Great, thanks, Dan. And Rob, down there in Victoria, mate, we've got a question here for you as Secretary, talking about how to update my details on the BHA website. Have you got any tips and tricks there? You're muted, Rob. There's always one.
The main avenue for communication from us to you is via email for direct communication. So it's important for us to have your details correctly registered. So if you are able, please visit the website in the members area and update your email address or any of your details. If you are having trouble doing that, please contact me, secretary@barbershop.org.au, and I will assist you to do that. The other areas, of course, are our website, our Facebook page, etc. So, thank you.
Great, thanks, Rob. And you're also the guy to talk about if people can't find the insurance certificates they need for particular gigs, you know where they are. Dan, thank you.
They're on the website.
Thank you. You've got lots of help there, Dan, as far as people resuming choruses once they've got back together again. That's fantastic. Trevor, you've given us some tips and tricks there about the finances. Richard, we're excited to hear about more stuff for Auckland next year as it comes out, and the regionals next year beginning in March. Ian, we expect a whole influx of judges. Paul, we look forward to hearing a lot more from you at the town hall that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Luke, we can't wait to see more of your sessions, mate. We've seen a couple today already, and we can't wait to see more. I say today, it was really like next week, but hey, this is a pre-record. Stick with me, all right? And so there you go, folks. There's lots of help available for you. All of our contact details are available on the website. And so now I'm going to throw back to me in the studio. Back to you, me.